Celilo Falls, located at the confluence of the Deschutes River, where the Deschutes River flows into the Columbia River Gorge, right about there. Looking back at the history of how this waterfall and this landmark was created, we have to go back some 15 to 18,000 years ago to the uh, flooding of Glacial Lake Missoula, referred to as the Missoula floods. They ran for some 2 to 3,000 years, creating much of the distinguished landscape of northern Idaho, western Montana, eastern Oregon, and eastern Washington, and creating the Columbia River Gorge and the Columbia Basin. The history of Celilo Falls is created from the channels creating those rapids and those waterfalls were created because of this. As we move forward, we look at this image shot in 1956 by Richard Stefani. It is an image of in indigenous persons, the area, the Nez Perce, the Yakima, Warm Springs, along with other groups, taking part in a ceremonial fishing practice where they would fish the salmon that came up and over these rapids. These wood structures were enigmatic of the fishing on this place. Whether it was 100 years ago, 200, or 1,000 years ago, you would have seen structures similar to this. It worked so well that there was very little reason to change many of these fishing structures. As we move forward, that 1956 date is rather enigmatic and eerie due to the completion of the Dalles Dam in 1956, which led to the inundation of Celilo Falls and the destruction of that history. Pictured here is the last large explosion for finishing the channel to reflood the water and begin to fill up the Dalles Dam. And to this day, Celilo Falls remains at the bottom of the Columbia River